Hi, this is Bhavna and you're watching India Today. I'm joined and so honored to be joined by Luca here at the Jio Mami festival, the director everyone loves, and of course I am really honored to be joined by you, sir. Firstly, a huge welcome to India. How are you?
Thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words. I have been here for 3 days now. I'm fortunate I'm leaving tonight, but I was very happy to be here.
I just came back from your masterclass and I was amazed by your sense of humor firstly. But also I want to know, one interesting fact that I learned was that, of course, that you love gardening. And one of the major aspects of gardening is also the fact that there's very little scope for spontaneity, right? Because you have to go by how much a plant perhaps need water. It's all given, it's science, right? Now, when you apply that in filmmaking, a lot of the actors or on set, they expect spontaneity or there's scope for spontaneity. On a set with you, how much do you leave scope for that? Because, I mean, traditionally, how do you go about it?
I'm not sure it's about spontaneity that is the thing. Like, I like the metaphor of gardening as a metaphor for cinema. If we agree that making a movie is almost like tending to plants that comes from all over the world, the globe, and they need different climates, but you have to do it under one kind of climate. So it's a very difficult task. Spontaneity, I think it's about the form of things more than the content. So I'm not very interested in improvisation, for instance. I'm more interested in really a candid thought process. Someone who knows something, someone who doesn't know something and then come with it, with this idea. I'm open to that.
Right. And you know, I was also curious to ask that you said, of course, that you need to have a very personal equation with the actor as well when you're working with them. But to err as human, sometimes humans evolve. Sometimes you get on a project knowing that, okay, this is the vibe, it's working. Midway, maybe it doesn't work. How do you adapt to those kind of situations as a director?
I think it's about climbing, right? When you climb, you have to understand the rocks. And so you cannot go from the bottom of the valley up to the top of the mountain pretending to know all the steps you're going to do. You have to really adapt. Adapting yourself to the terrain, it's vital and makes you possibly going up all the way up to the height.
And what has been the biggest lesson in all of this work that you've done? Incredible, right? But every project, every film, every set teaches you something. And I believe that you're always a student of cinema, right? Because it's ever evolving. To you, what has been the latest, perhaps, or the first lesson that you learned and which has stayed with you even today?
The first lesson is still the last one. Try new things. Find grounds that are not being walked. Give great opportunity to people who start for the first time. Like in this case, I did that on Queer, where the production designer was a first-timer.
That comes with a lot.
And he did a great job.
I'm sure. I mean, to work with you, no one would try to sort of let go of that opportunity. But at the same time, that comes with a lot of risk, right? I mean, to give an opportunity to a newcomer, it comes with its risk. How do you evolve or weigh the risk, the pros and the cons?
It's a calculated risk, particularly in this case, because I am myself a production designer.
Has there been any instances where an actor has really surprised you? Because that can happen.
All the time. I'm surprised by actors every day, all the time. Every day. Because an actor who feels confident and relaxed and trustful will go in territories that are unexpected.
But has there been even times where an actor's, you don't expect them to be that, especially in scenes which involve a lot of vulnerability and you have to really show that on screen. You need to make sure that the set is conducive enough for them to portray that, right? How do you make sure that happens? And have you ever encountered a particular scene where the actor perhaps needed a lot more cajoling before they could really let themselves go?
I think what you describe is something that happens every day. You have to make sure that you create a safe space, a cuddling environment, to let them be relaxed and release themselves. Because, you know, like the actors are fragile and they put themselves in front of the camera. They bring something about themselves in front of the camera. So you have to respect that vulnerability.
Talk to me a bit about, because, you know, off late we have seen, of course, that cinema is going global and everyone is finally talking about it a lot more than it used to happen earlier. In the last 2 or 3 years, what has been the biggest change that you have seen? And what do you think about Indian cinema on a global map? Because I'm really curious to see what is your perception about it?
I know I have a great deal of confidence in saying that I know classic Indian cinema. I'm not very literate about contemporary cinema. I love Anurag Kashyap, for instance, very, very much. Tonight is his premiere here in Mumbai. He's a great director. But I think like the change that everybody sees that has been going on for long now, it depends on the people who does movies. Change can be something positive, but at the end of the day, we all tell the usual thing. Stories about people, interaction between people. We need a camera, we need actors, we need some special effects, we need light. We need the same things that we have been needing for like 110 years.
But you know, for the longest time, I believe that Indian cinema was, at least on a global map, it was all about singing and dancing. Thankfully, that's changing. Thankfully, I would say. But what was your...
It's been changing forever. Like, I mean, there was the wonderful Mira Nair now. Yeah. She has been creating such a great movies all her beautiful career, which gave us a perspective on India and Indian cinema that wasn't what one expect.
What kind of cinema, if hypothetically, let's talk about a collaboration that can happen between you and an Indian director, what kind of project would you like to assemble and mount on?
Well, I think one thing that is very striking to me about the way I very briefly saw Mumbai is the beautiful layers of the human landscape and the natural landscape intertwined in such a way that I found the secret spaces between these two could be a great place for a movie.
But also tell me, have you had an opportunity, of course you've seen a couple of Indian films, I'm assuming. Shah Rukh Khan is obviously one of the biggest names globally. Have you had an opportunity to perhaps see any of his work?
I did, yes. I have not had the privilege of meeting, but I did. I seen the movie by Shekhar Kapoor. I saw many films from India recently. I'm not very literate about it, and I'd like to talk about things that I know very well.
Lovely. So I'm hoping that the next time we meet, of course, there's a collaboration on board, because I would love to see that happening. And I hope that you visit India a lot more often, because I think there's so much to take away from here.
And me too. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Luca. Thank you.